incredibly busy train to King's Lynn. I'm on another bike adventure. This time doing another river. I'd done the Severn, I'd done the Thames before the Severn, I'd done the Trent, and now I'm doing the Great Ouse. And here at King's Cross, getting the train to King's Lynn, just south of where the river begins. And I should be in Milton Keynes and then eventually by the source in about 3 days.
Board is service to King's Lynn. The next station is Littleport. Please keep your bags and personal belongings with you at all times. If you see something that doesn't look right, report it to a member of staff or text the British Transport Police on 61016. See it, say it, sorted. Would customers wishing to leave the train at the next station, please note that you can only alight from the front 4 coaches.
So, I've made it to a rather wet, drizzly Milton Keynes. It's meant to rain for most of the morning until about 4. But it doesn't stop the station itself being a really lovely building inside. It's quite a quaint station. Anyway, I'm now making it a couple hundred metres down to the river. I have never seen church windows of shutters before. Not even in, like, France as Victory. This church is delightful. I think most churches are delightful. Shame it's right next to the road, but the buildings opposite are equally as beautiful. You've got a real like Kensington aesthetic about them. As it is, on my train missions to go on every rail line in Great Britain, I've already been to King's Lynn before. This is my second time coming up the line here. And it really surprised me. It's a really quaint town. There's so many beautiful buildings across it. And if I remember correctly, it was the birthplace of an explorer with surname Vancouver, who Vancouver in Canada is named after. He's got a monument just north of the town centre. It seems every house on the street has one of these green plaques. They seem to have them across the road. It's just this side. Anyway, ooh. There's a beautiful street. And now we're going down Ferry Lane, which at the end has the ferry to West Lynn. But of course I'm not heading on that. I'm on the right side of the river. Right, as you look at the map facing north, and right for me when I'm going to cycle. So I don't need to get it. But maybe we'll see it. Anyway, the ferry itself, as I'm sure if you put 2 and 2 together can guess, is across the river. I'm going to be reaching the source of in a couple of days' time. So I don't think we are, well anyone is, I wasn't, but no one else is going to be getting the ferry today. There it is. A bit marooned and unaccompanied. The tide is high. Hopefully this doesn't impact my ability to cycle along the road. Hopefully none of the roads, cycle along the river, hopefully none of the roads along it are flooded. We can but see. And as for sea, you go up there, past the other side of that restaurant, and this river, the Great Ouse, flows into the sea, the North Sea, only about a few kilometres north that way. But we are going south and then west this way to the very bottom of Northamptonshire. And there's the famous Captain George Vancouver's monument here at Perfect Quay. He was the man who Vancouver was named after because, as it says just on the plaque down there, he surveyed almost all the coastline along the west side of North America from California to Alaska. And about halfway along his trip, he would have stumbled across what is now Vancouver Island and the soon-to-be city of Vancouver. Born in this small town in the edge of Norfolk. There's some ducks there just having a little rest in some algae, having a little peck at it. Actually, I'm not quite sure what it is. The buildings around are much more eloquent. And there is the village of West Lynn, just across the river. Just across the barrage. And then the river. This is almost perfect timing. Oh, and it flew away. It's my first time, not in my life, but on this trip seeing one of these. These are quite the occurrence among the fens of Cambridgeshire. But at this point, the river splits in two. I think there are a lot of these barrages to control water flow, to make sure Cambridgeshire don't suddenly drown. We're raised, so we're okay. And this part seems to be okay too, despite being at the same level as the river. So hopefully it's not as flooded as it was by the ferry. It's not worse on the other side. Very dull industry, but when you're in a river estuary, what else do you expect? I mean, when you think about it, the Thames, the Tees, the Trent, just all around the Humber. Lots of massive factories like this. Oh, there's some reeds stuck in there. Oh, just tripped over my bike. This is all concrete. That's metal. This is all concrete. I mean, naturally, even though it's railway engineering I work in, as someone who works in engineering, I am always fascinated by things like this. I think this may be one of the centre ones, this big arch thing. And it's got a lot more reeds. Wow, it's a lock gate. It shows. But the other side is grass. I'm spinning round. Wow. I mean, a bit of a disappointment in the other end. The path is grass. The other side is tarmac. But as someone who lives on a canal boat, you don't see locks anywhere near to this side. This must be like 40 times the size of the average lock we go through. I mean, with the water level drop, has even got to be for more than denim deep, and that is deep. This structure is remarkable. That's that water going down like 10 metres, it looks. And it looks to be about 100 metres wide. I don't know, maybe not. But it is truly a testament to engineering. Oh, and there's that announcement. That's why I didn't cycle over it. I was like, oh, they're gonna make him angry. There's just a man in a booth pressing buttons, and you can like, he has a range of tones. Probably not. Anyway, I'm now back at the other side. I think I'll see you in Downham Market. So to shield myself from the rain, I've taken refuge in this absolutely delightful church. I've just eaten lunch in here, but luckily, I'm checking the weather forecast, the rain has completely died down, so I'm still going to get a little wet, but going back out, I should be much better than I was cycling here, and it kept pouring. Anyway, I've barely made any progress today, and it's already 1:15. So I'm going to get a move on and head down to Downham and then Ely. I wasn't expecting this to come past. Oh, someone's getting married. Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, train! That train is going back down the line I came up to get to King's Lynn. You should just be able to see the wires there above the train tracks. That train, I think, should be now pulling into Downham Market. I took the line up that way and then further up there. So I'm cycling the roads that mimic it, because they also mimic the river. If you can see, this magnificent building is currently behind hoardings and has a building contractor sign. They better be restoring it to keep it like this and not just knocking it down and putting up boring ass flats. And you can see it on the rest of this street, apart from the massive ass truck. It is beautiful architecture, although that is one creepy name for a shop. I mean, maybe if it was a sex shop, but it's a sandwich shop. Well, whilst I should have, I was not expecting to suddenly stumble across this. This is Denver Windmill. Whether Denver in the US is named after this Denver, I have no idea. But first windmill I've come across, I'll probably come across a few more. Although, I don't think I've ever come across a concrete one. Usually they're wooden. Anyway, you should expect to see them around here. It's incredibly flat, like the Netherlands. What is certainly a first here is a hair salon by a windmill. I'd expect like a tea shop, but not a hair salon. So, this dam here, it may look a bit like a smaller affair than the first one I came across today, but this is only one of 3 of like a network here called the Denver. It's like the Denver network of dams, and there's 3 sections because this is where this and then the other section of the Ouse over there. Well, actually, it's where the 2 split bits over there then come together and split again. One of them there, one of them over there, which I came down along. So it's all a bit of a river junction here, but with all one river just splitting in 2 and then back into 2. But this thing behind me, not in this form, was built in the 1650s. And at first I was so confused and bewildered because you don't imagine dams being pre-industrial revolution, but it was after the time the Dutch started building them. And the name that I saw on one of the signs, I think it was Bermudan, sounds kind of Dutch, so I have a feeling he was brought over from the Netherlands, which, to be fair, is really nearby here. It's, I think, only less than 100 miles across the North Sea. So not far, probably came in to port at Harwich, came here to help build this thing and all the other necessary dykes in here so that this whole part of the country don't flood. But yeah, that was in 1650. You underestimate humans pre-industrial revolution, but at the time, said Dutch people were exploring and settling southern Africa, and all Europeans were setting up trading routes around the world. And you know who was doing it beforehand? The Chinese, the Turks, not so much the Egyptians, although they did have an incredibly technologically advanced empire thousands of years before. You should never underestimate what humans achieved just because of the date, and it was hundreds of years before you were born. Anyway, I think these structures are probably from the 50s to the 80s. This is still an ongoing battle to keep the fens above water. Maybe at some point we should take the boat here. It'd be a very long sail. It would take a few weeks. But it's so peaceful, a bit remote, a bit far from a supermarket. We're now going along the 10 mile bank all the way to Ely. So this stretch of the river, very luckily for me, has a road called the 10 mile bank running right along it. So I will be right alongside the river the whole time, and the sun's finally come out. That's what I'm most happy about. First bit of livestock I've seen today. Just over the ridge there, you can see cows. This is the railway line again. We're going under the railway. You barely ever see this in the UK. We have so much double track, but so little electrification compared to most European countries. You barely see a single track electrified railway. I as a rail nerd know stuff like that. Back the other side. Oh, just in time. I think I just got the train. It just whizzed past. I'm sure you heard it as I came out the other end. We can see the river again. Look at all those cabbages. Seems to be either that or wheat or corn up here. Actually, I don't know about corn. Definitely wheat. But there's a lot of cabbage. At least I think it's cabbage. It may be cauliflower. Could be rhubarb. I can't really see dimensions on the leaves. I can just see that there's thousands of them. You can see the trains all parked in there. There's a uni train depot. And of course Great Ouse.